Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shatter the conventional wisdom you've been sold your entire life regarding success, hard work, and what it actually takes to be free. The modern world has programmed us with a very specific and, honestly, a very dangerous script about how to live. Well, we are going to rip that script apart step by step using the exact frameworks the financial elite use to build true generational wealth. Let me ask you something right out of the gate. Are you rich or are you wealthy? Because most people in the modern middle class don't even realize it, but they are trapped in a golden cage of their own making. They have comfortable jobs, nice homes, clean clothes, but they wake up every single day with this quiet, persistent anxiety. They're basically running as fast as they can on a treadmill that never, ever stops. Okay, let's dive into this comparison. Being rich, that's entirely about what you show the world. It's the least luxury car, the massive mortgage, the designer clothes. It's like every time the rich get a raise, they instantly inflate their lifestyle to match it. If they earn 150 grand a year, they're spending 149 grand just to maintain that illusion of success. They look great, sure, but beneath the surface, they are living in a fragile panic. Wealth, on the other hand, is completely invisible. It's the unspent capital sitting in a bank account. It's the stocks you haven't sold. Wealth is absolute freedom. It's the ultimate luxury of waking up and having the option to do exactly what you want today. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The invisible middle class trap. 2. Why hard work isn't wealth. 3. The 4 rules of leverage. 4. The profitable power of no. 5. The ultimate wealth multiplier. And 6. Brutal truths about retirement. Section 1. The invisible middle class trap. Escaping the golden cage. So, why do so many highly capable people feel totally stuck? Well, it's a silent programming that keeps people trading their infinite potential for just a tiny sliver of safety. The brilliant thinker Paul Graham calls this the anchor of possessions. When you enter the middle class, you start collecting these anchors. A $300 car payment here, a slightly larger apartment there, endless monthly subscriptions. Individually, these threads are way too light to be felt, but woven together, they create an unbreakable cable that ties you directly to a desk. Suddenly, your baseline operating cost is so high that your risk tolerance literally drops to zero. You can't take a chance on a startup. You can't launch your own venture. These anchors just drag you down and hold you hostage to your next paycheck. Section 2. Why hard work isn't wealth. The hustle culture lie. We are told constantly to grind, right? Wake up earlier, put in those 18-hour days. But the brutal truth is, the hardest working people are very often the poorest. A Stanford University study on work hours and output proves this perfectly. Up to about 50 hours a week, productivity rises steadily. But push past 55 hours, and your output sharply declines. And here is the terrifying reality check. Someone working 70 hours a week produces the exact same output as someone working 55 hours. Those extra 15 hours, they produce absolutely nothing of value, just errors, exhaustion, and medical bills. The equation of trading hours for wealth is mathematically broken. Section 3. The 4 rules of leverage, breaking the income ceiling. If hard work isn't the answer, what actually is? Well, the truly wealthy do not sell their hours. They sell their asymmetric decisions, and they build systems that work without them using 4 multipliers of effort. Number 1 is other people's time. If you have 100 employees, you literally have 2,400 hours working for you every single day. 2, other people's money. That's the strategic use of capital to deploy funds at a higher rate of return than your borrowing costs. 3 is technology, getting algorithms and software to work while you sleep. And 4 is media, writing a book or creating content once that pays you royalties forever. True wealth comes from moving from linear income to ownership. Just think about Ronald Reed. He was a janitor who never earned more than a modest hourly wage, but he quietly amassed an $8 million fortune simply by owning blue-chip stocks that compounded for decades. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Do not work in a business, work on building a system that operates without your presence. To get there, you've got to conduct a brutal time audit. Track every single hour and ruthlessly eliminate or delegate tasks that don't generate assets. Because remember, you can always make more money, but time never, ever comes back. Section 4. The profitable power of no, protecting your attention. This requires a massive psychological shift. You have to stop being a people pleaser and start treating your time like a sacred vault. Because the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. There's this famous story of a dinner party in 1991. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were both asked to write down the single most important factor for their success. Without hesitating, they both wrote the exact same word: focus. And focus isn't just staring really hard at a screen, it is the violent elimination of distractions. It's Steve Jobs walking into Apple in 1997 and slashing their product line from over 300 items down to just 4. Every time you say yes to something mediocre, you mathematically eliminate your ability to say yes to something spectacular. Section 5. The ultimate wealth multiplier, the $100,000 skill. Now, what's really interesting here is how this addresses the invisible ceiling brilliant people hit. You can have the highest IQ in the room, but if you lack this one skill, your genius is locked away forever. That skill is communication. Think of your technical expertise as a base number. Steve Wozniak was a pure technical genius, right? His base number was a perfect 100. But if he was alone, the Apple computer would have stayed a hobbyist toy in a dusty garage. Steve Jobs was the multiplier. Jobs wasn't the master engineer. He was the master communicator. He translated circuits into a vision of empowerment, creating a reality distortion field that built a trillion-dollar empire. Having a brilliant idea that you can't communicate is like winking at someone in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. So if you want to elevate your market value immediately, I challenge you to this 30-day blueprint. Step 1. Every night, record yourself speaking for 3 minutes about a complex topic without using a single filler word. No ums, no ahs. Master the strategic, silent pause instead. Step 2. Every morning, write one clear page using the Hemingway rule. We're talking short sentences, strong verbs, and zero fluff. This is literally the exact reason Jeff Bezos banned PowerPoint at Amazon in favor of silent, 6-page memos. Clear writing equals clear thinking. Section 6. Brutal truths about retirement. Redefining the end game. Let's shift to the final stage of our timeline. The retirement industry loves to sell you this fantasy of endless beaches, but the reality is that permanent leisure actually accelerates mental and physical decline. True retirement simply means being free enough to choose meaningful work. And I want to let this number hit you for a second. $315,000. That is the average out-of-pocket healthcare cost for an American couple retiring today. And get this, it doesn't even include long-term care. This is a mathematical certainty that serves as a massive blind spot in almost everyone's financial plan. And that brings us to a really harsh contrast. For decades, financial advisors sold the 4% rule. Just withdraw 4% a year and you're safe indefinitely. Well, that worked perfectly in 1994 when bond yields were high and inflation was contained. But the modern reality is terrifyingly different. Compounding inflation is going to erode your purchasing power. If you stop investing the day you retire and shift entirely to bonds, your portfolio will slowly bleed to death. Your money has to continue compounding. So what are our actionable defense mechanisms? First, delay retirement by even one single year. Research shows this can boost your portfolio by $150,000 to $300,000. Second, build a dedicated healthcare reserve and do it immediately. Third, keep your expenses ruthlessly controlled decades before you retire to lower your baseline needs. And finally, never rely on a mathematically broken government pension system, and definitely don't burden your children. The absolute greatest gift you can leave your family is your own financial dignity. I want to leave you with this one final provocative thought to carry with you today. Look at your daily habits and ask yourself honestly, are you building a machine to buy back your time, or are you just waiting to vanish on the treadmill? Stop working harder, start thinking bigger, and begin leveraging your time, your money, and your absolute focus, starting right now.